Got it.
Okay.
All right. And let me go back.
There you go.
Yeah. All righty. There we go. All right. A big hello to our coalition members, community partners, and mission supporters. For those that we have not yet got to spend a lot of time together in person over the past year and a half, I am Irene Boone Phillips, coordinator of the Lake County Community Tobacco Prevention and Cessation Coalition. Here with me is Julie Kissy, Administrative Director of EAP for Franciscan Health Hammond, and our Program Director for the Coalition. We wanted to check in with you and provide some brief updates on program activities and news. So yes, as you can see, what the sign says, it does says, we miss you more than toilet paper. So, how, what's more essential than toilet paper? So I hope you all know that you are essential to our mission and we are missing you. We can't wait to see you again. Virtual is just not quite the same, and it has its own set of challenges and stresses. Okay, just to get started here, surely at some point you have seen the public service commercials and ads of the CDC's Tips for Former Smoker campaigns. Now you, your family, and your friends, or someone you work with, have the opportunity to participate in the campaign and share the story about how tobacco use has impacted your life and the life of your loved ones. The flyer will be included in the follow-up resources that we'll be sending out. Last week was Earth Day, and the environmental issues to be aware of is the toxic waste of e-cigarettes and pods. One of the key points in this article that the Truth Initiative put out was that we will be, and the article that we will be forwarding in the follow-up information, it states that almost half, which is 49.1% of young people, don't know what to do with used e-cigarette pods and disposable devices. Not only do e-cigarettes pose a substantial risk to youth and young adults, they also pose a significant environmental threat. Now, for some of our saved dates, mark your calendar for May 16th, which is No Menthol Sunday. Join the faith community on a National Observance Day dedicated to educating congregants and community members about tobacco vaping and the role of flavors like menthol. There is a sign up for any church that would like to participate, and we will send that out. We will send that flyer out. One of the things that they have provided in the past were church fans, but this year you can get some face masks that say No Menthol Sunday. So that's exciting. Our next save the date, and we want to make sure that you mark your calendar, is World No Tobacco Day. Now, World No Tobacco Day is always on May 31st, and sometimes it's challenging to plan our activities when Memorial Day is close to that proximity, which normally is either the day before, a few days after, but this year, it is on the same day. Now, back in 2016, one of our activities, that gave us some of the most exciting success stories was when the three largest healthcare systems in Lake County gathered for a ceremony and signed an agreement to work together as a united voice to raise awareness of the toll of tobacco use and to let our legislators know that policies that save lives should be primary focus. In 2017, 15 of Lake County school corporations and Valparaiso School Corporation came together and signed a similar agreement. This year, they are both on the same day, as I mentioned, May 31st. Now, in 2018, And in 2019, we gave primary focus to our youngest citizens, the Head Start students and their families. So this year, on May 31st, we are planning a balloon release to acknowledge those we have lost to COVID, tobacco-related complications and illnesses, and the military service. In the upcoming days, we will send out the balloon reservations so that you can fill out a small form with your loved one's name. And if anyone would like to have a short message attached to that, we'll allow a little room for that as well. And then we'll attach those to the ribbons. Now, we are trying to still abide by the cautious protocols and do not plan on having a large group gathered, but we will gladly have a balloon in the bunch for those who desire to participate. The release will be either streamed live or we will have a recording that we will share. On June 8th, another save the date. We really want everyone to put this on their calendar. And I want to give a big shout out right now to our prevention work group. We have been meeting weekly and sometimes twice a week as we are putting together the plans for this event. Tobacco-Free Lake County and our partners are going to be hosting our first annual event on teen brain health. The amazing adolescent brain and maximizing brain development through nicotine avoidance. And we have a guest speaker who is Dr. Thomas Armstrong, author and international lecturer. Now the registration is scheduled to start to open on May 5th, 2021, and we will be sending out emails with the registration link. And I'm going to turn it over to Deb. Hi, Deb. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, how are you?
Okay, good. Let me just properly introduce. We have with us also Deb Black, who is our youth coordinator.
Okay, thank you, Irene. Just in summary, our youth program are always an exciting extension of the work that we do because we know that our youth are the future. Our youth in Voice, with Lake County Voice, have really withstood the pandemic and their change in their educational needs and still continue to have a voice in Lake County. Our 7 active students are from all over Lake County, and they have created a social media presence while also maintaining good grades and even with the challenges of the pandemic. Our kids have been positioned and have talked with legislators this last year. They have participated in Indianapolis with hundreds of youth from all over Indiana to raise their voice and empower teens to stay free of tobacco and tobacco use, and to not be encouraged by the temptation of the marketing tactics of big tobacco. Our youth leader is a young lady who is a leader not only in Voice but in the community, and she has been the voice and the leadership for this group for this past year, and that's Kendall. And Kendall has helped them to develop the words and the temperament for advocacy, and we will continue that going forward. Our next goal, while participating in World No Tobacco Day, we just participated in taking down tobacco, but the next goal will be to recruit more youth from across the county. And with the support and continued support of our coalition and our coalition members and mentors, our youth will remain a force. So I thank you for letting me just kind of summarize the work that they have been doing. And we're looking forward to continuing that work in Lake County.
Sure. And you know what? As a bonus, I think that we can play Kendall's recording.
That would
Hi,
be
I'm
awesome.
Kendall, the leader
That
of
would
the
be
Lake
awesome.
County Voice team. I need you to know that we are taking down tobacco. Why? Because the Institute of Medicine reported that smoking remains the leading cause of preventable death in the United States because it leads to cancer and heart disease. They also shared that causes more than 443,000 deaths per year, which is 5.5 million years of potential life loss. How does this happen? According to a recent tobacco control report, Point of Sale, which is tobacco marketing, it is the primary venue for tobacco industry advertising and promotions, especially for teens. Exposure to point of sale advertising and promotions promote smoking and encourages tobacco use. That's because youth are 3 times more sensitive than adults to tobacco advertising. Yes, 3 times. We know that tobacco products are packaged to look similar to products we like. Things like candy, pop, gum, and ice cream. Flavors like mint, strawberry, and lemon lime. And to top it off, tobacco products and advertising are a place where they are highly visible to us kids and teens. These tactics work. Every day, almost 4,000 youth in the United States try their first cigarette, and over 1,000 youth under the age of 18 become new vape users and smokers. Lake County Voice wants you to know that we are not going to be silent. We are taking down tobacco with this pod blast to educate to save lives. We don't want our future to be targeted with vape and other tobacco products. We want to be the first tobacco-free generation, but we got to tell somebody. We have a voice. Don't be quiet behind your mask. Take a few minutes to check us out. Thank you.
Awesome. They are doing awesome work. And Deb,
Awesome.
thanks so much for all of your care and caring for them, beyond what they are tasked to do, and just looking out for their well-being. We really thank you for that.
Thank you.
Now, moving on to our partner announcements. We don't have a lot of announcements today, but we do have one that's very important. One of our partners, the Geminis Head Start, through the Geminis Regional Health Systems, have 17 positions that they sent to us that are open. And so we will be sharing that in our follow-up information as well. And now, as we wrap up our little short notice, this past year and a half has been one of the most challenging times in our lives. So let me remind all of our coalition members and all of our community partners that something that we have said, and we have said all throughout our time and throughout our grant cycles, is that we are here for you. We are community partners. We know that we call up on you a lot of times to help us with our mission, but we are here for you as well. And if there's anything that we can do to be of any assistance, please don't hesitate to call us and let us know. So as we wrap up, we're going to turn it over to Julie, who's going to give us some pointers on how to deal with stress, COVID-19 fatigue, and for some of us, the overwhelming fatigue of learning how to navigate the virtual living and how to have virtual relationships, how to shop virtually, and everything else that we've had to do virtually. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Julie.
Well, thank you. So yeah, let's talk about COVID-19 and everything that it has changed in our lives and the things that it hasn't changed. So one of the things that I can tell you is COVID-19 has really brought about a lot of change, stress, but it's also brought about some goodness, and I'll talk about that in a minute. I want to let you know COVID-19 really is, it's real, it's out there, and how it's impacting us as human beings is a worldwide phenomenon, and it's really impacting anybody, of everybody of all ages. So children to the elderly are experiencing very, very high stress levels. We're seeing increase of depression, anxiety, fatigue. People that you may know may be changing mood swings, their personalities are being impacted because of frustrations unknown, not knowing how to respond to working remotely. Like Irene said, a lot of virtual things are going on. We're not seeing as many people face to face. We don't have our healthy coping mechanisms, but there's a lot of things that are advancing, like the virtual world is assisting us with replacing some of our face-to-face with Zoom meetings. That's a positive thing because it's replacing the face-to-face with at least the ability to connect with the people we love. It's allowing us to still continue to work, even though we can't maybe go into our businesses, but it does create some obstacles. One thing that I generally recommend when you're working remotely from home, or if your workload has gone from a face-to-face to more of a Zoom, is looking at taking breaks from your virtual world. If you work from home now remotely and you have to do everything by Zoom, try to take breaks, use the 2x2 rule. So try to take at least 2 minutes every couple of hours. So every 2 hours, take at least 2 minutes and disengage from your computer screen. So we call that the blue screen. Disengage from your blue screen and focus on something away from it, at least 2 feet away from the screen, so that you're focusing and using different sight. You're using your different sight with your eyes, at least 2 feet away. And you don't have to be doing anything. You just need to be focusing on something away. That gives your brain the ability to relax for a couple of minutes. You can meditate, you can listen to music, you can do anything else, but don't look at a computer screen. Your brain needs for that stimulation just to stop. That's one thing. The other thing too is now that people are getting vaccinated and fully vaccinated, they're starting to loosen up on some of those restrictions of being able to visit with people who are outside in the fresh air, keeping that social distancing. We need to start taking advantage of some of that. But more importantly, we need to really look at self-care, and self-care comes in many, many different forms. The most important self-care is making sure that you stay focused on structure. Structure being those self-care things, we still have to make sure we're getting up at the same time. We're eating right. So a lot of people don't eat right during times of crisis or times of stress. We need to make sure that if we're working remotely from home, don't work in the kitchen because you may eat more than you would normally eat just out of convenience, because it's right there and you take a break and what's around you, the refrigerator or your cabinets. You might need to move your office location to somewhere away from the kitchen area. That may help with, instead of using food as a comfort, you can really keep your work separate from your home life and your downtime. The other thing that we recommend is not resorting to maybe heavier drinking, or in this case, we're seeing a lot of people resorting to smoking or vaping, and we want to try to replace those unhealthy habits with healthier habits. So one of the things that Irene has even put on this slide is resorting to healthy coping mechanisms like deep breathing. And none of us as a human really does the deep breathing like we should on a regular basis. And just an easy concept is box breathing. And that is taking in a deep breath for, you can do it for 3 seconds, count to 3, take in a deep breath through your nose, count to 3, hold it for 3, exhale for 3 out of your mouth, and then hold that empty breath for 3. So you're just doing kind of like this imaginary box. 3 in, hold for 3, out for 3, hold for 3. And you can do this and teaching yourself how to really deep breathe. We're teaching ourselves a healthier mechanism of deep breathing instead of using cigarettes, a habit that has formed, a negative habit, or not taking deep breaths. So smoking or not taking deep breaths are can be equally as devastating to our health, because we need to be able to rejuvenate our bloodstream with oxygen and be able to relax. And deep breathing is something that is free, easy, not very time consuming, and it's something that we can do all throughout the day and help us to relax our muscles, get oxygen into our muscles, and feel rejuvenated, relaxed, and refreshed. So those are just a couple of things that we can do to just take care of ourselves. And we have to start with ourselves so that we can keep up the energy to take these things that we're trying to accomplish out into our communities and teach those individuals about the things that we want to, like stopping smoking and what smoking can do to ourselves and what unhealthy habits can negatively impact. And we're all in this together. We are a community for our community to try to help. So that's what I have, and I hope that that helps. And if you need anything, we're always here. And we could focus too on, you know what, just the last thing is focusing on what is in our control and letting go of those things that are outside of our control. And the pandemic is not in our control, but how we respond is. And so all of those things can really be helpful on a day-to-day basis. So Irene, I'm going to give it back to you.
Well, thank you, Julie. That really helped. I don't know if you saw my reaction when you said don't work in the kitchen.
Yeah, I did. You're like,
So it was
uh-oh.
Yeah, it was, and I think that sometimes, when we were forced to work at home, I think we all just kind of struggle. Well, where do we work? Where do we have the best lighting? Where do we have? And so, yeah, I could see a lot of things that I probably needed to hide when I did have to kind of work in the kitchen and everything. So, but that was very helpful, and just breathing, and we really think that we're doing a good job sometimes, but as it has been pointed out through coping, coping pointers and skills through this pandemic, is that we are not. We breathe very shallow and very short, and so yeah. So that's one of the things that going forward, I know that I'm going to do. So
good.
And I didn't know, did either one of you have anything else to add? Deb, did you have anything else to add?
No, I just think, and thank you, Julie, excellent summary there for us and giving us some great tips. Just in the pandemic as well, let's not forget our young people. Teens and children are really also impacted. And I think oftentimes as adults, we forget that. But we really have to reach out and do the same kinds of things with them. Tell them how to de-stress and positive response to what's going on. So thank you. That's all that I could think. But Julie, great job. We're going to use that. And
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Okay. Now, with that said, that's pretty much all the updates we have today. And we said that we were going to be very brief with this, but we are here. If there are any questions, please forward any questions, any concerns. If you need any additional information from the information that we will be sharing in our follow-up email, don't hesitate to reach out. And I just want to say thank you both, Deb and Julie, and thank you to all of our community partners. Hang in there. We will be seeing you soon and can't wait to get in person.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.